Today on Locked On Rockies, you'd think a 3-run lead heading into the ninth would be enough, especially on a day the bullpen looked great. But as often has been the case for the 2025 Colorado Rockies, wasn't enough.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the 11th day of June in the year 2025. I'm your host of the Locked On Rockies podcast, Paul Holden, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. If your team is the Colorado Rockies, you're in the right spot because that's what we do around here each and every day, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services and available on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel where you can be part of the show. You can fire off your Rockies hot takes. You can let me know what's on your mind when it comes to the Colorado Rockies. Today on the show, I was hoping for a nice light. My buddy Jambron tells me I was a little too negative yesterday. And then this game happens. And unfortunately, when what adds to the most frustration, of course, about losing a game like this is the way that they lost. But it's in reality a very solid baseball game played by the Rockies is now completely washed away. We can't really even look too much into those positives because it's like, literally, as you see on our overlay today, it was a Jekyll and Hyde day for the Rockies bullpen. I mean, it's insane how I don't know if it's just the bad luck. If what it is, we'll break it all down. We'll talk about it all right here on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we dive into everything, today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. And, of course, the immediate blame for the game goes to Zach Agnos and the bullpen and their inability to get it done in the ninth inning. And especially when you're turning to those guys, it's Agnos, it's Vodnik. These are the guys that want to be the great Rockies closers. They want to help get this team to the next level. But unfortunately, we've seen a few times now where the ninth inning just completely unravels for this team. And it completely spoils the fact that the rest of the bullpen not only was good, but was great, was impressive. In reality, leading up until the ninth inning, this was on pace to be one of the Rockies' best games of the season. This was a game, and yes, it was a close game, and yes, there were certainly some issues, but this was a game where you were striking the Giants out a lot. This was a game in which you got home runs from your offense against the pitching staff that has allowed the least amount of home runs in baseball. This is where you're going into the ninth inning with a lead against your rival. I mean, put rivalry in quotes for everybody, but against a team that has dominated you, that has had a history of success against you. I can't remember what the broadcast said the Rockies' record was against the Giants of late. If you remember what they say, just post it down below. It's horrendous. It's terrible. And I don't even really feel like looking it up here for this episode. But it just stinks that when the Rockies actually do put together a nice ball game, and again, was it a dominant performance? No, but you were aggressive on the base paths, and Ryan McMahon got thrown out and stuff, but there were things that the Rockies were doing right in this game. But for it to just come apart like that, it isn't. I mean, I don't know. It goes back to things that are deeper. The team clearly cursed. The team clearly having issues and the impacts there, but it's just so deflating when you can't get that win. When you have a tremendous bottom of the eighth inning, an absolutely phenomenal bottom of the eighth inning, exactly what you're looking for when it comes to the ninth inning, or the eighth inning, plating two huge insurance runs after navigating, having the lead through the middle part of the ball game, and for it to completely come unraveled. And for them to put 4 up, and for them to score 4 runs in the ninth, and have less, and to have less hits than you, to strike out more than you in this game, the Rockies handled the Giants throughout most of this ball game, but then the moment it counts, the biggest moment of the game, it all falls apart. It falls apart immediately. The first pitch of the bottom of the ninth is a home run, and then immediately you knew. Immediately the doubt starts creeping in, because then it's a walk, and then it's a second walk, and then the bases are loaded, and it's just nightmare scenario. And I don't, again, we talk a lot about the prep, we talk a lot about this, but I don't even know how to explain that. It's unfortunately, when the bullpen has had moments, and they've been great. Agnos has been great. Bodnik has been great in moments, in opportunities. But when the lights are on in the ninth inning, one of the biggest problems with this team of this year, and why they're so bad, part of the reason why they're so bad, is their inability to close out. Their total lack of clutch. There's no clutch. There's no player ready for the big moment on the Colorado Rockies right now. They've shown flashes. They've shown they've shown chances. They've shown moments. But there have been time and time again, offensively, defensively, pitching-wise, where players have had moments to step up, and it just hasn't happened. And in fact, they've flamed out, and they have been, and it has gone the total opposite way. It's not a total wash for the rest of what can happen for Agnos. It's not a total wash for how this ended, and for these guys to continue to get opportunities down the line. But this is just a reminder of what it takes to win a ball game for the Rockies. Doing everything. You have to put together the full nine. How many times have we said that this season? Put together the full 9 innings. Play a full, complete game. And on the verge of that, it falls apart, and it falls apart like that. And the same type of sign earlier in the game that we've seen so often with the Rockies in this season. San Francisco jumps out to an early lead. The Rockies have allowed something like 41 runs in the first inning this year. Rockies bounce back. Then the Rockies jump out ahead in the fourth, thanks to a solo blast. But boom, right there, the Giants answer. A little bit of different story when the Rockies are able to answer back in the bottom of the fifth, plate those huge insurance runs, and with the way things were going, you have to win that ball game. But instead, it's another blown opportunity. It's another missed chance. And it's another moment where you look at the Rockies and you just wince. And it just stinks, because there was a lot of positives about that game. A lot of positives. And a game that would have been a nice little sign. The Rockies finally, getting out of the habit of going on 8-game losing streaks before they win. But the main difference you saw a team with confidence. You saw a team with swagger. You saw a team that didn't get down in the dumps, that never counted themselves out, and took advantage of every opportunity that they were given at the end of the game, mind you. Because these numbers for the middle of the of the lineup, Jake Bird in his amazing season continues to just be completely wasted. And I saw a tweet tonight that says he shouldn't be on there. The Rockies should be shipping him immediately. I agree. There is a team looking at Jake Bird right now, ready to make a deal, and you should make that deal, because he should be going and helping teams win ball games, because you can't ask for much more from what the middle relievers did for the Rockies in this ball game. Let's go over some of the numbers of that middle bullpen and some of the positives that we can look at a little bit here. Well, also just trying to wrap our head around another tough loss. Again, not something that's surprising, right? Are we really surprised that this happened? No. Certainly disappointed. Let's talk about it all on the other side, right here on Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Super easy, super simple. It takes everything that you need when it comes to juggling those finances, multiple accounts, what's going on, where's the money going, where is it being spent? They put it all in one app, one stop. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending. That's right. Accounts, investments, and spending. Boom. The big three right there. All in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. You don't have to juggle multiple apps. You can see exactly how much you're spending, maybe on the small stuff to see how it adds up, but tracking your big purchases, seeing where that money truly is going throughout what you're doing in your personal life, or maybe on the business side. You never know. Easy collaboration. That means you can manage your money with a partner, whether it be, a significant other or business partner. You can track and share your shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Back out of here for segment number 2 of today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Thank you so much for making us your first listen of the day. And of course, we're talking about the Jekyll and Hyde day of the bullpen. Of course, spoiled by the 9th inning, unfortunately. But let's just head over to Purple Row here, reading from Giants 6, Rockies 5. 9th inning bullpen meltdown cements another loss by Samantha Bradfield. Here we go. Jake Bird continued his dominance tonight. The right-hander came in to relieve Palmquist in the 5th after he allowed a homer and a walk to start off the inning. Bird went on to pitch the next 2 innings in spectacular fashion, striking out 5 of the 6 batters he faced. In fact, he recorded 8 straight strikeouts dating back to his last outing. Andrew Kisner was required via groundout to the 3rd. Bird's 50 strikeouts leads all MLB relievers. Samantha asks, could he be the Rockies all-star this year? Without a doubt. I mean, there should be little to no doubt. You can point to Hunter Goodman, maybe Jordan Beck, but statistically, but in the big moments and consistently, Jake Bird has been the best Colorado Rocky this year. And it's just it should be a matter of time before he's pitching for another organization, because he should be someone helping out teams in big moments. And I'm glad to see that Bird continues to have he cares. He takes to the mound. He takes it serious. He knows what he can do. He knows how important he is to this team. And he does stuff like he did against the Giants. I mean, to get that team to strike out, and I know the Giants offense is bad, but again, put the Rockies scope into all of this. Just getting Giants out has historically been a very difficult thing for this team to do. For him to come in and mow him down and be so efficient. I think he threw like 3 balls in his entire appearance there. It was like 16 strikes and 3 balls or something crazy like that. I can't remember exactly the numbers there, but Jake Bird has been phenomenal for the Colorado Rockies, and something where it's just like, he is one of the few, if any, Rockies player, when you're watching them, you're like, that guy, he's got it. He is he can do what we need him to do. And it was interesting, actually, in this whole situation, hearing the broadcast talking about how Warren Schaefer goes with Bird in the middle of games, trying to set them up, keep them in these close ball games. But you do wonder what would happen if Bird could start closing games. But you're trying to get Agnos and Vodnik. These are supposed to be the guys. These are supposed to be your closers of the future. These are the moments that those guys need to thrive in. And, of course, Vodnik's put into the tough situation. So the focus really on Agnos here with the home run, the multiple walks, the nightmare of the 9th inning. These are the guys that you need to be able to, or need to hand the keys to in these situations and get the outs. And it's just amazing to see that pan out all within the span of one game, right? To see the bullpen dominate and handle business throughout the middle of this ball game, to see Jake Bird and Halverson and Kinley just all pick up at least 1 strikeout. Bird getting 5, Halverson with 2, Kinley with 1. No hits allowed throughout, 4 innings worth of work. And then immediately in the 9th for it to all unravel. It just shows you where the mental state, the mental toughness of the Colorado Rockies is at right now. And it's highlighted by the differences on the other side of a Giants team that has now won another one-run ball game. Another one-run ball game and another win for them. I believe that's 6 wins in a row. And I believe it's some crazy. Let's see if I can get the number there for you here of their 6th win in a row. Let's see if I can get this stat from the AP here. I'm just trying to scroll here. Bump. Each of San Francisco's last 8 games has been decided by 1 run, and the Giants, who lead the majors with 17 one-run wins, are the first team to win 6 consecutive games by 1 run since the 1989 California Angels. This is from the AP on ESPN. That's crazy. And again, it shows you the differences when a team is going well, when a team is performing. These are big games for the Giants for the NL West standings. These games matter. And for them to be able to come up clutch time and time again just shows you that the confidence oozes throughout that organization, oozes throughout those players. And it was a dink-dunk single that led into the tying run, and there were some other things like that, but it doesn't matter. They were able to do their job when it mattered. And they've done that time and time again to do something that hasn't been done since 89. The Giants have just pulled something off that hasn't been done in nearly 40 years, and that's winning in one-run ball games, being successful in multiple close ball games, which is a good sign for down the line for them. Where on the opposite side, you have a team that continues to lose those games, lose at the historic rate. The Giants are a winning organization. The Rockies are a losing organization. And that was on full display in this game. And it really what's just a bummer is we can't sit here and actually look at and praise the Rockies for a pretty darn good game, because unfortunately in the world of baseball, 8 innings ain't enough. You have to go 9. Big home runs, Ryan McMahon drawing a couple of walks as well. Couple of huge triples as well in the 8th. Doyle putting the barrel on a good one of his best swings in a while. 3 runs should be enough to win you a ball game in the 9th. Coors be damned. But as the broadcast has said many, many times, as we will continue to say, as multiple people will say, nothing will be easy for the Rockies in 2025. And it's just, I don't know. And it was just kind of with the weird, everything I was, we were talking about the people calling out the Rockies and things like that. And then The Athletic puts out a piece today where they just highlight 4 huge names in the post-Blake Street Bomber era. And Tulo comes out and says, I don't comment on that organization. Arenado and Story say their concerns, but the Rockies were just a stop. The Rockies blow a game while we have to read about how Rockies greats don't care about the team, don't want to care about the team, distance themselves from the team because of just how badly it's been. And that's the only little thing I'll tie into to our usual thing, because I don't want to keep drawing out the same type of thing. But man, this game was just a reminder, another reminder, not the reminder, not the right word choice there. Another reminder of the Rockies being a loser organization. Losing is the norm for the Colorado Rockies. Winning is the norm for the majority of the NL West, especially San Francisco. Even a down year for the Giants would be a Rockies dream more often than not. we'll put a bow on it, look ahead to tomorrow, and read some YouTube comments. Coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. That's right. You're out there, and you're like, hey, I need to make sure that I'm getting everything I need for plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work. Well, guess what? Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. They got you covered with their easy-to-use website, packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. They got that big inventory. Maybe you're looking for small, specific parts. They got a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400. Yes, over 400 top brands. You'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, and you'll always talk to a real person. A real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Use promo code SH5. That's promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Locked On Rockies here, getting ready to land the plane here on segment number 3. But before we do that, we'll just put a bow on it. Hey, I mean, it was at least a hard-fought, entertaining, good game for the Rockies up until it was not. And, of course, it's a bummer. The Rockies still striking out 10 times, tying the Giants there. They still had plenty of issues, but this was a game they should have won and could have won. And they have to start figuring out ways to start winning these ball games. They have to start figuring out ways to get to be clutch like they were in the 8th inning, to drive home the point, to continue to make that Coors Field element. You know, it was getting wacky there in the bottom of the 9th. There was a possibility, but you could tell the wind was already out of the sails. And Coors Field erupts for the opposition yet again as Let's Go Giants rings out in the crowd again. Coming up tomorrow, the Rockies are looking to bounce back with Kyle Freeland on the bump here. And, I mean, as their mantra, what they say and what they are saying they're doing in the locker room is to flush it. And that's what you have to do. But it's going to be very difficult against Robbie Ray, who has been phenomenal this year. 8-1 with a 2.44 ERA, a whip of 107 in 77 innings pitched. He has struck out 87, walked 31. So again, the walk's a possibility here. The Rockies did get a couple of walks in this game and were able to draw out some counts. The walks seem to be one of the vulnerable spots of this Giants team. But again, only 6 home runs allowed. Kyle Freeland, on the other hand, 1-8 with a 5.19 ERA, a whip of 1.54 in 67 innings pitched, allowed 91 hits. That he's allowed 41 more hits than Robbie Ray this season. He has struck out 35 less batters than Robbie Ray at 52, but walked a fraction of what Robbie Ray has. Only 13 walks for Kyle and 7 home runs. The damage for Kyle is when he can't hit that location. And when they can do and they hit the heck out of the ball and punish him that way. And it's a team that hasn't been great offensively, but has showed in this game that they can, when they need to, they will not only hit the ball, but get the ball in play. So the Rockies need Kyle to be Kyle at his best. And Kyle is no stranger to pitching against the Giants. Let's read a couple of YouTube comments here. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to go through. I always get this. TT, I believe, is their name. They're Sir Nano. I'm sorry if I'm not gonna. Any word if they're selling the team? No chance. Again, I'm gonna say that. Arcade Perfect Reviews 265 says Mets fan here. You guys should really shouldn't be that upset about losing to the Mets. They might be the best team in baseball. You had great attendance, and that first game was an excellent game. Plus, you have guys like Beck and that kid you brought up who hit a triple. I appreciate that, Arcades. And let's see here. Justice says, if this is period Y9, you are period FORST period UER, Believe this is a keyboard malfunction here where it should be saying, if this is your first year doing Locked On Rockies, you picked a terrible year to do so. They so bad, that's why no one's watching your channel. The show has never been more popular than this year. Just letting you know on that front there. But they are terrible, and it's not my first year doing it. Justin Berger says, I did hear Rockies own selling in July. I think you might be misremembering where he said revisit maybe stepping back with this interview in Kisela that he brought up back in March. We'll see if anything actually happens with that, because I hold my breath, to say the least. Christian Montoya says, Paul, something interesting for a future episode would be if there's anything MLB can legally do to force Monfort to improve the team. I'm an Orioles fan who lives in Denver, and I saw the Angelos family dodge team improvement for years. The Angelos family are almost all lawyers by trade, seeing as John Fisher dodged legal ramifications with the A's, but Sternberg was almost legally forced to sell the Rays. Could make an interesting deep dive. There's no crime for being bad, though. And I get my main response to this is, if you're the commissioner, if you're Major League Baseball, the Rockies are bad. They're a bad baseball team, but their attendance is still good. Do you think and I'm, like I said, just if you, because I think the commissioner looks at the Florida teams having issues, the A's having issues, attendance issues, all that stuff as bigger problems than what the Rockies are. Because the Rockies still get people to come. The ballpark's great. They were able to bring the All-Star game there on a whim like they wanted to and do all this stuff. I don't think that Major League Baseball itself looks at the Rockies and say, we need to get involved. We need to do something. They look at the other teams, and that's where the eyebrows are raised. When you have no one at Marlins Stadium, even for Marlins Rockies, I understand that. When you have those issues, when you have the Rays trying to figure out what they have to do next, other things I think are bigger warning signs if baseball was to actually like step in, because it would be pretty amazing for Major League Baseball to just step in and be like, you're so bad, we have to do something. Because like I said, they have people showing up. They have higher payrolls than other teams. I don't think Major League Baseball, I think they just look at the Rockies and say, what are you going to do? They're the Rockies. Still bringing in some revenue through the tickets. We'll just let it ride. I don't think there's anything Major League Baseball can really do or to force the Rockies to do anything. And again, that goes back to anything. There is nobody, even within the order, there's no forcing of anything. Dick Monfort doesn't have to sell. He doesn't have to do anything. He runs the show. So, and please don't take it as I'm just dismissing it as a bad question. I just legitimately don't think that, one, that Major League Baseball would get involved in something like that, or two, like in what Major League Baseball considers the issues with the league. I don't think the Rockies being bad is overall their main concern in that regard. John Clemens says, Paul, thanks for all you do. I live out of market, so I don't get to talk Rocky stuff with anyone else. Your rants help me keep me sane. I'm trying, thank you. I was hoping to be more positive today, but not going to work. Luxay says, hearing how Dick Monfort is just ignoring everybody, which isn't surprising. Monfort reminds me of Emperor Palpatine, hiding in the shadows, and is the main reason why the Rockies are super bad. I'm going to the game tonight, so I'll wear my Sell the Team Monfort shirt. Well, we'll see how it was there for you, Lux. Adrian says, ownership does not care about the fans or what they think. The only way the league will do something if corporate sponsors pull their funding, or if the entire Rockies fan base just stops going to games. Although, given the fact that most folks who go to Coors Field attend for the social experience and could care less about the team, nothing will change. Ownership is still making money, and why should they change their business practices if they're accomplishing their goal? That's, again, the business side, successful. The baseball side, not successful. And again, I think people really need to remember, when we're talking attendance, the people going to the games more often than not are not Rockies fans. Listen to the ninth inning of last night's game. Listen for the Let's Go Giants. This is the Giants we're talking about. It's not even just the biggest thing. Every single time the Rockies are at home, they are outnumbered. There are not more Rockies fans than fans of other teams that live in Colorado at this moment. At least not ones that will go to the game and watch seriously. There are plenty of people that will go and enjoy an afternoon or an evening in Denver at the best bar in Denver. And then Jim says, amen, brother. Tell it like it is. I try to do my best. And I must meet Tom York says, tonight made me so upset. We finally got a sizable lead late, and now the dang bullpen messes it up. Ready for the next 8-game losing streak. Well, the Rockies, I believe, is that now 4 in a row. So halfway there. So halfway to their next win. But we'll see if Kyle can bounce back and keep the Rockies in the game. And the offense, let's see if they can do some damage via the long ball again, or at least do some damage, get themselves back in the win column. Either way, we'll be breaking it all down right here on Locked On Rockies. Thank you so much for making us your first listen of the day. Thanks for checking out the show on your favorite streaming services and on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel. For your second listen of the day, go check out Locked On MLB and the Locked On MLB Game Night for all things Major League Baseball. And we got you covered with all things Colorado sports, Locked On Broncos, Avalanche, Nuggets, and Buffs, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. Until next time, I'm Paul Holden saying so long from the Locked On Rockies podcast.